Welcome to this tutorial on Ball X Pit. This is really a addictive game. I would start out by saying that this is sort of a mix between, I would say, Arkanoid, Brick Breaker, some of those games you've played, but with an RPG feel to it. And so it's very, very addicting, a whole lot of fun. But there are there's some mechanics basically that you want to at least have a basic understanding before you get into it, and that's what we're going to talk about. Now, to start out, this is sort of the screen you're going to come into. The first thing you want to do is, or just to let you know, you get 3 save slots. So I'm hitting continue here, but I started a new game. But I basically have 3 save slots that I'm using. This one, I actually started my third one basically to start a new game. So that's the first point I wanted to sort of make to you, is that you can do 3 runs. You can have 3 different runs in terms of your save. Now, usually I only use 1 or 2, but like I said, I started sort of a new game to show you the mechanics and how this game works. So we're going to continue on with that game. Now, when you first come in here, you're going to be like, what is all this stuff? What is this? It's a little weird, but it starts to make some sense. Now, we are going to talk about building. We're just not going to talk about it right now. But we are going to do a little bit of talking about it because we're sort of here at this screen. So to make a long story short, this is your base up here. And you get 4 basic materials that you're gathering: gold, wheat, you get logs, and you get stone. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we're going to sort of skip past this. But to make a long story short, at the top of the world is your base, and then here is this pit lift, and it takes you down to basically pits that you have to fight in. And the more you level up, the more levels that you unlock, you can go deeper and deeper into that pit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and play right away. Now, basically, you get several characters that you can choose from. Now, in this run, I didn't want to show you. I don't want this to be a spoiler video, so I've only shown you here the first few characters. But the first one you'll start out with is the warrior. Now, this is kind of an important screen to first take a look at. The warrior, if we read this here, it says a wandering warrior. The default character, no special gameplay quirks. That's the first point I want to make out, or point out, is that there are no, he gets no passive abilities. Very important. If we go over here to the itchy finger, you can see here he does get some stuff. He gets a scattered aim, shoots twice as fast, can move at full speed while shooting. So he gets some, he does get some passives. And same thing here with the repentant. He also gets some. I'm not going to go into all of these and all the characters because I don't want to spoil it for you. But as you unlock characters, just keep that in mind. They also get different stats, so you want to review these. I don't really take a huge look at these, but you may want to base how you build your character when you're in combat, how the things that you accept. For instance, like leadership is good for baby ball counts. We'll talk about baby balls. So if you have, if your character's big into leadership, you may want to work on baby ball count. Now, I do want to point out that doesn't necessarily mean that you should focus everything on baby ball count. And I sort of made that mistake a couple times. You still want to, get powerful in some areas, but definitely if you have a higher leadership, you might want to focus on that. So that's important. You do want to kind of look at the stats. You can see here he's strong in endurance, strong in leadership. Just sort of take a look. Let's see what the warrior is strong in. He's really strong in strength. Right there, base damage. So you may want to concentrate on that. So that's just one thing I want to point out. But probably the most important thing is the ball that they start out with. I actually focus on that a lot. So so you can see here the itchy finger starts out with a burn ball. He gets the freeze ball. He gets the bleed ball. Now we're going to talk a lot about balls, the special balls, because they are very important, obviously, and they get something called evolution. We're going to talk about evolution more. Don't worry about that a lot right now, but just to make a long story short, if you have a evolved ball that you want to go for, you may want to try to pick the character that starts out with one of those balls. So for instance, if you mix, and I will talk about this more, I promise you, but if you mix a burn ball and an iron ball, you will get a bomb, which is a evolved ball, and it's one of the more powerful evolved balls. However, think about this. Let's say you say, I want to start out with the warrior. Well, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get. Now, it's not that you can't, but it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get that bomb evolved ball because you're starting out with bleed. That means you'll have to get the burn. You'll have to hope that the burn ball and the iron ball are drops. You get those. But if you start out with bleed, chances of that are a little bit less. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's just a little bit less. Whereas if I start with the itchy finger, now all I need to do is get the iron ball, and then I can merge those two balls later on. And we'll talk again. Well, again, like I said, we'll talk a lot more about Evolved Ball. It's probably the most important part of the game. So just keep that in mind. Now, the second part is obviously you can level your characters up. You can see I've got the Repentant to level 4. I've got this guy to level 7. What does that mean? Well, his stats will go up. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. The other thing is it will show you which levels you've completed. In this case, the warrior has completed the Boneyard, but not the Snowy Shores. The Itchy Finger has done both, and it looks like the Repentant, neither. So this will show you all the levels that you have progressed to. So we're just going to go ahead and select the Repentant. He gets the Freeze Ball. And the Freeze Ball actually has a couple really powerful evolutions. Again, we'll talk about evolutions later. But, you could mix that with a Wind Ball and you get a Blizzard. And I think there's a Laser, which you can turn into a Freeze Ray. So there's some very important ones he gets too. So if you wanted to go for those, you may want to pick the Repentant. So we're going to pick the Repentant first. And as you can see here, we're going to go ahead and do the Snowy Shores. And you can see here, it even shows you which of your characters have completed this. We're going to go ahead and play it. So then, like I said, here it goes. It's going to do its big drop into this pit. And here you go. Now, one thing I want to point out right away, and I'm not going to really pay too much attention to, I should be, but normally I'd be paying more attention to this, but F, yes, F, hitting the F key will enable auto fire. Make sure that you hit enable it. I would start out with enable it. Okay, so again, this is very similar to Arkanoid, but first we're going to talk about these little blue gems that you see here. Now, blue gems give you experience. You can see this experience. Every time I pick those up, see how it's going up a little bit? Yes. So once I get enough of those, I will level up. This is an in-game level up, but it also does lead to an overall level up, I guess, outside the combat. So there's leveling up inside the combat, there's leveling up even outside. And you'll see how that works. This will all come together as you play it more. And this really is a game you need to just keep playing and you'll understand it more. But, so we hit this first. Now we can hit continue and we have a chance to select an upgrade or we have a chance to well, yes, we get a chance to upgrade. Now, we might also get a chance to upgrade balls in here, and we'll talk about that. In this case, we did not. We got 3 options here. We got an option to the ball start off 70% speed, but increase by 20% each bounce. That's pretty good. Every 7 spawn a stone. I always like this. I don't know if it's the most powerful thing, but I kind of like it to spawn a stone healer. And then we get a stone effigy, which is also kind of cool too. You get this like soldier that helps you out. Let's go with the healer's effigy. We're just going to take that. Now, I will point out that you can also re-roll, but that will consume gold. Now, you can see here I haven't got any gold on this run yet, so really can't re-roll. It's not going to even let me. See, you don't have enough resources. But later in the game, this might come into play. Now, what would you want this for? Well, let's say you were trying to get a more powerful evolved ball and you were looking for a wind ball. You might want to re-roll this and maybe that will pop. And that's the main thing. I don't do a lot of re-rolling because your chances of getting what you want, I don't think they're great, but if you have a lot of gold, might be worth a shot. So we're going to go ahead and select that as our upgrade. And again, we're going to keep collecting these blue crystals and see it's going up. Okay. So that's the first thing I did kind of want to point out. Okay. And you will see, by the way, start to see larger crystals like green crystals. Those will give you even more. Those will even give you more experience. These are the coins. This gives me gold. You can see the gold's going up here. And the other thing I wanted to point out, let's actually level up again. You see here, there's my freeze ball. I should be paying attention here, by the way. I'm not really paying attention to this, but I should be paying more attention. So we hit the thing again, but I do want to point out that you can see here the items I have in my inventory. We've got, again, the freeze ball. We've got, again, the healer. So if I hit continue, you can see they're here. So they're also manifested on the combat screen, but you can see them here. And you get 8 slots. So I just wanted to point that out. And here you can see now I've got the ability to go ahead and re-roll. Let's go ahead and just re-roll. I mean, I normally wouldn't do this, but let's re-roll. Okay, whoa, we got a poison. We got a burn ball, which, by the way, you saw that the itchy finger got. He got that. So here we got that. Now, that was pretty good. We'll go ahead and take that. So now we've got, oh, there's our extra ball. Take a look at that. So just wanted to point that out. And now you can see it's over here. That's in our inventory. I'm going to probably lose this because I'm really not paying as much attention as I should be. Let's just pay a little attention here. Okay, this is what I wanted to first show you. And you will see these rainbows. And this is where you can start to evolve balls. We're going to go ahead and pick that up. And what this does is it gives you basically three options. Now, I don't have the ability to evolve balls right now. The reason is you can only evolve balls that are upgraded to level 3. Well, I don't have any balls that are upgraded to level 3. You also get the ability to, okay, so this is the complex part of the game. And I'll explain it now, and I'm actually going to show it to you as well. So basically, an evolution happens when you have two specific balls that are level 3. That's the first rule. Well, I don't have that, so that's why this evolve is not showing here. I'll show it to you later, but I'm just pointing that out now. And I'll reiterate this again. This is the hardest part, I think, to understand about this game. So basically, like I said, you have two specific balls that are level 3, and they can turn into a whole new form, an effect, basically. So what would happen is, let's say that freeze ball was at level 3 and I had a wind ball at level 3. I would then get the ability to turn that into, to evolve that into, I think it's called Blizzard. Now, not all ball combinations will have that ability. There's only a certain amount of specific balls that you can evolve into a new form. And if they can't, but that doesn't mean you can still merge them, and that's the third option. And I'm going to try to save all these to show you all these options. But you can also, and we'll talk more about this, like I said, you can actually take those balls and still combine them, and they will give you basically the best of both worlds, but it won't be an evolved ball. So there is a sort of difference, and we'll talk more about that. But in this case, I only get the ability for fission, which will basically upgrade hopefully all of these things that are in my inventory, and you'll see that. So it's going to upgrade, well, it just upgraded that. And again, it's sort of random how that occurs. So that's another point I wanted to make. Sometimes you want to hold off. Now, I had to get that rainbow because it was at the bottom of the screen, but let's say that rainbow is way up here. You may want to try to get some of those gems and do some upgrades of these balls before you take that. Let me explain that. This is a very important strategy that could actually make the difference in your run. So again, you can see here I've got a level 1 freeze ball. I've got a level 1 burn ball. Let's say I collected enough crystals. In fact, let's continue here. Well, we don't get the option to upgrade these right now, but you might. Sometimes you do. It's going to, like I said, this is going to be random whether you can upgrade these or not. Let's take the earth ball. But what I wanted to point out again was that, so what I wanted to point out though, is that rainbow was down here. I sort of had to take it, but let's say it was way up here and you're just watching that thing drop down. Well, what I wanted to say was, let's say this freeze ball was at level 2 and we had a level 3. Let's just pretend this was a wind ball, because you can evolve those. So I know that combination. And you'll start to learn these combinations. They'll be like second nature to you pretty soon. But let's just say, for instance, that this was the wind ball was at 3, and this, or let's change it around. The freeze ball was at level 3, and I had a wind ball here at level 2. Well, I saw, would I want to take that rainbow? No, because I wouldn't get the evolve option. You want to wait, try to pick up as many crystals as you can, and perhaps you'll get a chance at an upgrade to upgrade this. Then you take that rainbow and you can now get the evolution. So that's kind of what I wanted to point out. I'm going to die here. But that's sort of what I wanted to point out to you, that you want to sort of be more strategic about taking those, especially those rainbows. So here's a potion, by the way. Those will give you some heals. And you can see here I'm starting to get some more green, some more green options. So, okay, so one thing I wanted to point out to you. Okay, we got another chance here to. We didn't get any more upgrades on this options yet on this. That's too bad. Let's just take this guy. I was really not paying attention here. We may have to start a new run. No, we're getting out of it. Okay. So, okay, so I picked up, oh, that just dropped on top of me. And you can see I still don't have anything that can evolve. So we did, okay, so this time you can see it's random what you get upgraded. But this time it did actually upgrade the burn ball. So the burn ball now you can see is at 2. The freeze ball, unfortunately, is still sitting at 1. The earth ball is still sitting at 1. So it really is sort of imperative to pick up as many of these crystals as you can. And you can see here I'm starting to get some more green crystals. Those have more, experience. Okay, so here we've got another. Now the laser is a very good ball. I like to get those. There's also a laser horizontal. If you combine those, you get a holy laser, and that's really good. And that it can be evolved, like I'm saying. So if I got this and got the other ball to a level 3, then I would have a chance to evolve those into potentially a holy ball. So you can see here, there's that rainbow. I'm not going to pick that up right now. I'm going to hold off a little bit on that because, like I said, maybe I can get an upgrade in or something. I mean, it doesn't look like it. I don't have any 3. See, I'm not doing so well here early on upgrades. Usually I have like a 3 by now, I think, but not currently. But let's hold off. Well, see, now it's down here. Might as well take it. But you can see I have nothing yet to evolve. So we're just going to go ahead and see what we get. Now we did get, finally we got our freeze ball, and again it's random what it'll upgrade, but there, it upgraded, so now we've got 3 level 2. So we're getting close, we're getting in the vicinity. Now, this is kind of cool that this guy spawns, so every level has a, you can see here we've upgraded again. Now, here is what I wanted to show you. We finally get a chance to get the freeze ball upgrade, and we're going to go with the freeze ball. But we finally did get it's too bad we haven't got a wind ball yet, because that would be cool to show you the blizzard. But again, this game's random on what you get. You have to go with what you get. See that laser really hitting him. So I wanted to show you this guy. This is the mid-game boss, the mid-run boss. He will show up. So every level has a mid-boss and a final boss. And you'll learn how to play them. The mid-boss is pretty easy. Just want to pelt him. But like I said, every board will have one of these, and he takes a little while to get rid of. He's not that hard, but again, you can see here we got our upgrade. Let's go ahead and I want to keep upgrading my laser. Now, while I'm thinking of it, there's a couple things I wanted to point out, which I haven't been concentrating on here, but this is a lot like Arkanoid. So it is important to try to get your balls behind them, and you will do a lot more damage. The other thing I wanted to point out is if you, this is a big thing that I failed to mention yet. Well, I keep leveling up, so I can't talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it before we go back to the game. So obviously you want to try, you get bonuses. Well, a big bonus in your DPS is if you catch your special balls. Now think about that. And I haven't been paying attention to that, but it's a huge part of this game. So if you catch, like let's say I'm up here and I'm sort of doing some damage, and I re-catch this one of my special balls and I launch it right back. Think about the amount of damage that I'm doing instead of letting that thing go past me and fall all the way back down here. So that's why I wanted to point out. It's really in your best interest to try and catch the special ball rather than you can also catch the baby balls, I believe, but really what you want to do is catch these balls and launch them right back. And you'll find certain sweet spots where you can do that. Big part of the game. So I wanted to just sort of mention that to you. Now you can see here we've got to sort of get rid of this guy, and because he's going to start damaging us. And he might actually. We got to get rid of him. Yeah. Still not gone. All right, let's just get under him. Nah, he's doing some damage here to us. Okay. There we go. Okay, so wow, 2 rainbows. Okay. Now we have an evolution. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. So we have 2 balls that are level 3. It's going to be Earthquake and Freeze. And basically it's going to give us an all-evolved ball. I'm not even sure let's see which one this is. So it's going to let us evolve this. Let's just do it. And we're going to get Glacier. Okay, now here's a very important point I wanted to show you. It's going to knock you back to level 1. And you're going to say, wait a minute, that's not fair. I just had 2 level 3s. Well, that's not the way you want to think about it. This Glacier is more powerful than those 2 3s combined. For the most part, you're getting, this is a good thing to do. But here's the good part, is you can level these back up. So it's not like Glacier will sit at 1, you can get it to level 2 and level 3. So just point that out. Now, here's where this gets really neat. There are some, you could actually take Glacier. Once like Glacier gets to level 3, you could actually merge that with another ball, maybe with Burn and this is one of the coolest parts about this game, is there are so many combinations that you can do. There's a whole encyclopedia of them, which you can access here for everything you've unlocked. So that's what's so cool about this game. And I mean, some of the best combinations for me are, for instance, Burn and Iron will combine to evolve to form something called the Bomb. If you get Poison up to level 3, and then you combine Poison and the Bomb, you get a Nuclear Bomb. Some of these balls are so powerful, they can actually clear out whole boards for you. So that's where this game gets really cool. So I want you to think of it in... Okay, we got another upgrade here, so we can upgrade. Okay, so now, wow, that was really good. I mean, this is really, if you hit a rainbow and you get 5 upgrades, that's really what you're looking for. And we get another item here we can select. Let's take, let's spawn a Stone Archer. That's kind of cool. Okay. Got to get rid of this guy, though. And if these guys get down here, by the way, they will start to really damage you. So you need to make sure that you sort of take care of that. Let's get another upgrade. And let's actually go get those healing potions. Okay. So I am so glad it shows the fusion option. Now, remember I said there were 3 options? Fission, fusion, evolve. Now, keep in mind, evolve only happens when you have 2 specific balls of level 3 that can evolve. However, there are some combinations that do not evolve, but they can still be merged. You can merge any level 3 ball, but okay, let me explain that again. So basically, there's a certain amount of evolved, there's a list. You can go out to the Steam, there's a guide on Steam. It will tell you all the balls that will evolve. But for any combinations that don't evolve, you can still fuse them together and get those combined effects. So I wanted to just point them out. Now, usually if you get an evolved ball, you're going to get something really good. However, some fusions are really good and some are not. So just keep that in, you have to experiment a little bit, which is the cool part of this game. So I'm not going to ruin it for you because I want you to sort of learn this yourself. But just keep in mind that they might not be a great fusion. For instance, I'll give you a little tip, little hint. Maybe you have, there's a slowdown effect that makes the other ball not as good. It's better. It works better if it's faster. Think of something like that. Now, a lot of fusions are good, and and there's a way to see it actually at the end of your run. And I'm going to show this to you. It will give, and actually, I wasn't paying attention to this screen early on, but then I started paying attention to it. It'll give you the DPS for every ball combination that you created. It's good to sort of review those to see which combination. So again, keep this in mind. I have, what are those 2 combinations? Well, it's going to be these balls right here. I can now fuse these, and let's see here. So yeah, it's going to let me fuse Burn and Laser Vertical. What does it again mean? That means that these. And actually, I think this is a pretty good, as I recall, this is actually a really good 1, 2. Is it this or I can't remember now. But again, these do not evolve together, but you can fuse them together because they're both level 3. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to select them, we're going to fuse them, and now we've got the Laser and the Burn fused, and it says, well, but it's not an evolved, but it still gets a whole lot, well, hopefully that's a good fuse. And you'll find out, like I said, you'll start to learn some of the combinations that are good. I don't want to ruin it for you. Now, one thing I wanted to point out to you, and this is kind of an interesting thing to think about. These 2, we merged 4 balls. We evolved these 2, into a single ball, and we merged the burn and the laser into 2. Okay. That opened up some slots, though. It gives you the ability to pick up more items, too. So just keep that in mind. It wasn't something I was initially thinking about, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's pretty good. Okay? So that is how this all works in a nutshell. You got fusion, you got evolve balls, and then you do upgrades. That's it, basically. And again, I'm letting this guy get... I'm probably going to... You know what? I'm going to let them defeat me, because I want to show you now the DPS board. I'm actually... Well, I can't intentionally die, apparently. I'm trying. Let's see. Okay, so... Oh, and take a look. Oh, I'm glad... Actually, I'm glad we waited. So, because we merged the freeze ball into Glacier itself, think about it. This is a new ball, okay? That's why freeze is now available to pick up again. Yeah, we can get it again. And go ahead and evolve that perhaps into something else. So that's why this game is just so neat. All right, so really going to put it, I think that's it. You can see here, we've got one more slot. I could pick up another ball, but potentially, let's actually pick up some upgrades here. Now, again, I can only do upgrades now because we've basically, we don't have another level 3 ball here. So let's go ahead and do some upgrades. Hopefully, yes, we upgraded Glacier. That's what I was hoping to actually get. So Glacier now is a level 3 ball. So that's really cool. You can see here I just picked up some wheat. Picking up more gems. And let's try to... Here comes the boss. I don't want to ruin this so much for you. So I'm actually going to... Oh, no, that's the... Is that the boss? No, that's the mid-boss. Sorry. No, that is the boss, I think. I'm going to just try to die here. Oh, that might have been the mid-boss. Let's re-roll. We'll take... Okay. I'm going to just try to die. Normally I wouldn't do this, but I do want to show you now. Now, I think you have the basics down. And you can see here, we actually leveled the character up to level 5. Like I said, there's leveling up in the combat. There's also leveling up the character after you're done. So and he picks up some new, some new strength, leadership, and speed. Really cool. All right. So, and here's the resources we got. Oh, I'm so glad, because we're going to talk about building. I almost forgot about that. No, we can't talk. But in order to you will find as you do your runs, you'll pick up blueprints that give you new buildings. Buildings allow you to unlock new characters and upgrade your all the characters or individual characters. I guess that's the best way to put it. So we found a blueprint. That means we picked up a new building. Pretty cool. And we're going to talk about building in a little bit here. But this is the thing I wanted to show you, the DPS meter. So I wasn't really paying attention to this in the beginning, but I started to pay more attention to it now. But you can see here, it breaks it down. Like here, when we had the freeze ball, the freeze by itself, it's not doing really good on the DPS. But here you can see the earthquake, a little bit better, 112. The burn ball, 73. The laser 123. By the way, that was a good combination. I would say that's a pretty good DPS there. So those, now sometimes you will see lower, much lower, and then okay, maybe that wasn't a good idea to sort of merge those balls. But this is really cool. It's actually kind of my favorite part of the game to come here and look at all this. But you can see here the Glacier. Look at that, 310 on the DPS. So that was a good merge. And so, in just in case you're wondering how important those evolve balls. Take a look at that. It's doing more than even the fusion that we did. The evolve ball, much better. 310, really good. And then you can see here our our healers. Okay, here's our archers effigy. That's not really great, is it? You can see, but these guys also can be upgraded. So that's the important thing. So after you're done, you'll return to the base, and we're going to talk about one final thing to this video: the base building, which I promised in the beginning. Now, don't want you to get too caught up in base building. Yes, it's important. There's as you unlock all this territory, which you can do I'm talking too fast here. Sorry. So basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want you to get too strung out on this. I I mean, the way this game, you can just keep replaying it, and it has a lot of replay value, and you'll get your resources, you'll get all this stuff that you need. The main point I want to make out, or I keep saying make out, point out is you can move buildings. Why is that important? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to first show you how to expand, the expand option. We're going to go through each one of these, but expanding. Okay, so you can, obviously expansion is important because you can put down more buildings, put down more resources. There's two types of things you will do here. Basically, you'll have a resource tiles and you'll have building tiles. Building tiles, like I said, they give you certain things. We'll talk about that in a minute. And you have the resource tiles, which, you have wheat, logs, and stone. Those are the basic three. You can see them here. Here's the wheat, here's some of the logs, and here's some stone. So I've sort of put those around. Okay, like I said, you can also expand your territory, which obviously allows you to farm more resources or put down more buildings. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and purchase it. You need gold, obviously. Now, I will tell you, when you buy a new section of land to expand, it will be more expensive. It gets progressively more expensive. So I'm going to buy this, but watch. Okay, now it's 900. So you can see it's going to go up. It's not a huge deal, but it starts adding up eventually. You will eventually have so much gold, I don't think that's going to matter. But again, that's how you expand. Okay, the second thing you can do, and this is really cool, you can always rearrange your tiles. So if I wanted to move the consulate over here, I can do it. I can move these things around. You can rearrange everything all the time. That's why I said you don't want to worry too much about the layout. And there are videos that you can go out and they'll show you these awesome layouts. Like I said, I wouldn't worry so much about that early on when you're just starting to learn. I would worry more about the evolutions and combining balls and unlocking your characters. But if you want to get really deep into this, there's several good videos that will talk about the layout. Not a problem. But that's the main thing. Now, why would you rearrange? Well, one important thing early on, and this is the most important thing, is let's get out of this mode. If I click on this building here, usually, let me explain it to you this way. Usually buildings that I'm not really using right now or have been fully upgraded, like for instance, I usually move these off to the left because we're going to do this in a second. The harvest is the main action here, and you bounce balls off things, and that's how you get work done, essentially. Now, one mistake I was making early on, and I stopped doing this, I would keep buildings that I had no longer had a use for. Let's say I'd have some buildings here that were completely unlocked, and I'd have some buildings here I needed to hit. Well, the ball couldn't get to them. So basically, I just moved these off to the side, and that's no longer a problem. Now, obviously, we want to keep wheat and all these, the stone and everything else out here, but these buildings here are the ones I'm currently trying to unlock. Now, you can see here the villa. That has 10 of 15 left. I've hit it 10 times on the harvest. Alchemist is at 6 and 8. So that's what I'm sort of gunning for right now. So that's why I've got these buildings right here, front and center. These off to the left, I'm not really worried about these right now. So that's why and again, once I'm done, once I got the villa, maybe I'll move this over here, and there's some other building. So that's the thing I wanted to point out. Now, building, if you want to add more resources, you can always do that. Usually you're going to be adding more wheat. In this case, I think we should be adding more stone. Looks like stone I'm having a problem with. So let's do that. Let's just add some more stone here. So again, you can come in here to the build option, and there's three. There's the economy. There's also warfare, which gives you like you can see here, increases speed. We could build that. I'm not going to worry about that right now. You also have housing. This will unlock a new character. Let's actually get the veterans hut. We'll put that there. And this eventually will, once we hit that. We need to strike it 10 times. Okay, so we put some new buildings in. That's how you do that. And again, just remember, there's three that you want to toggle through: economy, warfare, and housing. And like I said, you'll see there's unlocks. I mean, you can see on this run, I'm not even close. There's so many. See how in depth this game is? Look at this. Look how far this warfare goes down. Look at that. Look at the economy. I mean, there's a lot. So. You'll have this thing completely built out near the end game. Harvesting is where the action starts. Now you get per run you get one of these, and here you can see here's our little guy, and you can bounce it. Bouncing it is very strategic. Now, let's say I was more interested in unlocking this building. Well, obviously I'm going to bounce it off of that. But actually what I want to do, and I kind of arrange these buildings this way so that it would hit this building and then this building. These are the two that I'm trying to currently get. And it'll launch, I think right now it's 3. And you have a harvest clock. Now, these balls will just keep bouncing around until this harvest clock goes down. So watch that harvest clock and watch the bounces. You'll see it. It's going to be it's kind of simple once you get it. You can see here I hit it. Now I'm hitting some wheat. I'm collecting more resources. And there you go. And actually we completed the alchemist. Look at that. So now this building, since it's done, now I could upgrade this and I'd have to hit it again, but we need 150 gold, 20, and I could. Let's do that. We'll go ahead and upgrade it. But you can see now I've got to strike it 8 times to get that upgrade. So just sort of keep that in mind. So that's at a nutshell how that all works. This will make more sense. And like I said, once you unlock more of this and get more wheat, there'll be some runs where you'll just have, when you let that thing go, those balls will go all the way up here. You'll get a lot more wheat, a lot more logs and stuff. But again, you can always move things around if you want to get more logs. Again, that's the most important thing, this rearrange. And actually, I wasn't paying attention to that early on, but now I sort of do. And that's the game in a nutshell. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. And if you did, please give me a like. I do always appreciate those. And thanks again for watching.